Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
Oh, you talk about a victory Monday. Oh, my Lord. What a game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was something special to watch. We're going to break it down from so many angles. An incredible weekend of college football, especially for the Gators and the Bulls. Hell, even FSU won.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm sure it counts, though. And we got Ray's stuff to get into. The Bolts, not so good a weekend. There's so much to get to. We do it each and every Monday through Friday, folks. 2 hours of Tampa Bay-centric sports. And my co-host today is the great Tim Ham from our beautiful Dallas studio and DSP Media. What's up, partner? How are you?
Man, I still can't wrap my brain around football Sunday and Saturday for that matter. Good Lord.
Wow.
I'm still shaking from the last 4 minutes of the Cowboys-Commanders game.
What the hell was that? What the absolute hell was that?
How fun was that? I don't know if you got to watch it live, but, man, watching it live, I was out of my seat. And, of course, doing my live blog for CowboysCountry.com and Athlon Sports. You know, I'm trying to keep up with the plays and what's happening. And I don't, it's been so long since I've jumped out of my chair during a Cowboys game for any reason at all. You know, whether it's disgust or joy. But good God, dude, my knees were shaking. That just, every time you thought this can't get crazier.
Yeah.
Boom, 86-yard pass. Boom, missed extra point to tie the game. Boom, onside kickoff return for a touchdown when he should have fallen down, by the way.
Right.
Wanye Thomas should have just fallen down and the game's over. And then you have can they do the Hail Mary again?
Yeah.
You know, it was,
yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it was just insane.
That's what makes football so fun when you have games like that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And that game was, if you had the under, you were like already, all right, I'm going to take this money I've won here and double down in the late games. Oh, wait a minute.
3 at the half.
Wait a minute. Would they score 41 points in the fourth quarter?
It was,
I think it was 41 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was nice though, because the Commanders obviously and the Bucs will be battling for a wild card spot. So thank the hapless How did the hapless Cowboys get off the mat, go to Washington and do that? How the hell does that happen?
I will tell you, when I don't care. I've been watching Washington and Cowboys games for 53 years, JP. That the records don't matter. The talent on the field doesn't matter. And I know it's weird because, the players are different, venues are different, coaches are different. And I'm sure there's rivalries in the NFC South like this, but you honestly never know.
Just never know. Yeah.
Think about the Washington Redskins in, what was it, 91 when they go 15-1 and win the Super Bowl. You know who their one loss was to?
The Cowboys.
The 1-15 Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah. Isn't that nuts? That's why we love it. That's why they play the games, man.
Yeah.
All right, setting up the show. Scott Carter's going to join us from FloridaGators.com. What a win for the Gators on Saturday. I went back and watched the condensed highlights of that, and because I was cruising this weekend, as you know.
You were.
So I've done the last 24 hours of watching lots of condensed highlights to catch up.
No,
but that game was absolutely insane. If you were at that game, comment, please. I mean, it sounded insane. And the plays that were made were unbelievable by the Gators. And of course, Ole Miss coming back. So we're going to recount that game and where the Gator program is right now. Talk about getting off the deck. Holy hell. Everybody had Sunbelt Billy fired except us. We've been telling you all along.
Yeah.
Be patient. Be patient now. And he's really, really had one hell of a second half of the season. So, once they got through the tough part of their schedule, Miami and USF, once they got to the easy part, the SEC, they've done much better.
The easy part.
Listen, I'm no Danny Cannell, but we're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about the SEC because there's a lot of shenanigans going on. And you could sit there, well, they're just beating up on each other. Oh, yeah, well, let's look at all the non-conference games that they've choked away.
Yeah.
This is not, we got to have 7 SEC teams. Really? Do we? The Florida Gators couldn't even hold a candle to Miami, but they can beat anybody in the SEC. Anybody.
Yeah, if the Aggies had to play him right now, I'd be terrified, especially the way the Aggies are playing.
Yeah. So we will discuss that as we go along. But obviously, first and foremost, and we'll hear from Billy Napier, by the way, and a crazy Ken Dillingham. How about the end of the Arizona State game? All right. I mean, everybody wants to hear Bucs, so we got to get to that. We'll get to the Arizona State game. That was freaking bananas. Yeah, we will hear Ken Dillingham assaulting the referees at the end of the game. Oh, like a frat boy on the field. Unbelievable.
Dude, Arizona State's going to be really good here.
I think you might be right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this Bucs football team. And I was going to say this. Well, that sure looked like a really good playoff team yesterday. I know it was the Giants. Folks. But look, every week, look at the Cowboys. How bad are the Cowboys? They come in. Every week we see it. Panthers almost beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
Yeah.
By the way, the Panthers playing much better football. So I don't want to hear, oh, the Giants suck, blah, 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 blah. That was a first-class NFL ass kicking. That was a no contest. We're going to physically beat you up. We're going to tactically destroy you. We're going to suffocate you because we're so much freaking better than you. Now, I could sit here and just start ripping off stats, and I might just do that right now. That's the sixth time the Bucs have scored 30 points. That's second in the NFL. 4 different rushers for the first time in franchise history scored rushing touchdowns. First time that's happened in the NFL since 22. 156 yards rushing against the Giants. They are now 10th in the league in rushing, 6th in yards per rush. This is a team that was horrific at running the football the last 3 years. Hello, Bucky freaking Irvin and Liam Cohen. Yep. 11 different receivers made catches, the most in franchise history. 6 games now. This is my favorite stat. 6 games this year, they've gone for 250 yards passing and over 100 rushing. Only one other team has done that, and that's the Ravens. They've also done it 6 times. So you can make a very good case that this is top 3 offense in the NFL. You might even be able to make a case for it's the best offense in the NFL because it's not, because numbers wise, it's the Ravens that they're tied with, and the Bills are there too as well. But both of those teams are so dependent on one freaking guy, their quarterback. This team has playmakers all over the place, and that's without Chris Godwin. I mean, you watch what Bucky Irving is doing. He is a difference maker. And I love the way that Liam Cohen, even though a couple of times, 2, 3, 4, the Giants were not too bad against the run, and Justin School played great in for Tristan Wirfs. But they were still limited in what they can do in the passing game because Wirfs didn't play. And they still ran up 425 yards of offense. You look at this team right now offensively, Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I mean, Sean Tucker, if he can hold on to the damn ball, is a weapon. Cade Otton is a weapon. You're starting to see some emergence of, of course, Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. He was probably, I think, 75% yesterday, but he had 5 catches, and he did what he had to do early on to give that threat on the outside to allow the running game to do what it was going to do. Led the team in receiving as he's supposed to do. Exactly. And this is what you want to see. This is what wins in the NFL. Is having a varied offense, a balanced offense. Listen, those old, the greatest show on turf. I get all that, but they ran the football. Marshall Faulk ran the football. If you're heavily on just passing, we've seen this with the Bucs, right? And Jameis, you're not getting anything done, and you're going to be turning the ball over at bad times because when you're throwing the ball all the time, sacks happen, holding penalties happen, interceptions happen, especially if you have Jameis at quarterback. So number one for me is this offense has become so balanced and so good, and man, do they have a dog at quarterback. Holy shit, this guy's good. Not only is Baker Mayfield a dog, but he can throw the hell out of the ball. He was so accurate yesterday, except maybe the first pass. 7 of 8 on the first 14-play drive. 14 plays. They take it right down the field doing whatever they want. Hey, Todd Bowles went for it on 4th down. They bring in Sean Tucker. Nice. They have a nice short yardage package. Speaking of your short yardage package, Vita Vea is a lead blocker. Love it. Love it. He's so, like, if you didn't notice, by the way, he didn't block anybody because nobody was getting in his way. Nobody wanted to get in that. Nobody wanted any of that.
Is that Liam Cohen going to Todd Bowles saying, here's what I want to do, and Todd Bowles saying, hey,
yes.
it's your offense. You know what? You do what you want to do.
I mean, we've seen this before. BA used him as well in the backfield. Actually, he's caught a touchdown pass, and that's coming, by the way. That's coming, by the way. He's so athletic. I mean, if you haven't seen this, Tim, and a lot of Bucs fans have, go watch the high school highlights of Vita Vea as a running back. It's hilarious.
Oh, God.
Yes, he ran the ball, and because nobody could tackle him.
Yeah,
but he's so athletic, you can use him in that way. And Baker is just such a leader on every level. Even the DeVito celebration that a lot of people thought that was cocky. No, he turns
Baker
it into
Cutlets.
a positive. He
Baker
says,
Cutlets.
no, I was a tribute. It was a tribute to Tommy Cutlets. Saw him at a casino. He looked like something out of a movie, like out of Goodfellas.
They asked him in the post game that somebody asked him, do you have any Italian in you? And he goes, I haven't done 23 in me. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of everything. He's a mutt. He's a mutt dog. That's awesome. What he is.
I love
Baker. I love Baker. He's run,
my favorite quarterback in the league, man.
That run, I mean, the touchdown run, he goes over the top. And then how about on Bucky Irving's long run?
That's what I was going to,
like, out of the corner of your eye. Here comes 6 sprinting up the field, and he got a good block.
For a
guy
block.
was about to tackle him. He knocks him off.
They're up 23 points, and Baker Mayfield sprints down the field to throw a block for Bucky Irving. Like, how crazy is that?
He is not just a quarterback. And by the way, he is such a damn good quarterback. Once again, the numbers 24 of 31, 294 yards. I mean, just it takes care of the ball. One of the top, if not the top rated quarterback in the league. Just phenomenal. But more than that, he's your spiritual, he's your emotional leader of this team.
Yeah.
And he gets you going, man. He gets you going on so many levels. The toughness, everything. The ball, I forget who it was, just kind of slapped the ball out of his hand, and he gets up in his grill over on the sideline. He don't care. And I just love that. And great teams need that. You need that leader, and it's got to be your quarterback. It just does, especially when you have a head coach that's
not your leader,
less than emotional. A head coach that is demure. That's what the kids say. He's very demure. So you got to have that fire and that shit starter, and that's Baker Mayfield. And how can you just not love this guy? He's the best. He's the best.
I don't even play with him, and he gets me going.
I know, right? I mean, you want to watch Baker Mayfield. You want to watch him. You just know something good's going to happen. I love it. I just love it. He's so smart at the line of scrimmage, and this Liam Cohen offense. Whew.
Man, that's a match made in heaven, isn't it?
Oh, I just hope he sticks around for a long, long time. The Glazers do not let him get away. And you know what I'm talking about. Do not let him get, and they won't. They won't. That's not happening. But that's another conversation for another day, because we can talk about the defense, finally, in a positive light. This is what we've been waiting for. The Cansey Vita Vea combination in the middle. Did you see Vita Vea truck that center right into the lap of Tommy Cutlets? If he was frying cutlets, there would have been olive oil and chicken everywhere. It's just he just wrecked the kitchen. I mean, I felt bad for that. When you feel bad for the offensive line, that's a grown-ass man. That's an NFL player. And he just steamrolled him like it was me. He just walked right over him and just deposited. I'm like, holy shiz.
A bad dude, man.
He's a bad man. And then Cansey, we're starting to see late season Cansey like we saw last year. The injury hopefully is a thing of the past, the calf injury, and I'm telling you, this is what I've been talking about since the beginning of the season. Get these two guys. When these two guys are cooking, even Anthony Nelson can get a sack, which he did yesterday. If you're an outside rusher, by the way, when free agency comes around, if you're an outside rusher, I want to go somewhere where there's a couple of good inside guys, so I'll get a lot of one-on-ones. Hello. If you're an outside rusher, this place is your absolute nirvana. You will see so many one-on-ones, because if they're sliding protection, these two guys are going to eat, and they're going to eat a lot. They are the dynamic duo, thunder and lightning. I've never seen a thunder and lightning on the defensive line, but that's what we got. It's like the all-star done, but it's defensive tackles. It's thunder and lightning. Cansey is so quick. and so disruptive. And who knew that Mike Edwards was the reason the defense has sucked this whole time? I mean, Bowles comes on and he has asked, wow, the defense played really well today. What was the difference? Mike Edwards. What? The guy we just picked up off waivers that nobody else wanted? Yes. Right. He calmed everybody down. He gets the communication going. And by the way, he actually reads routes and jumps them.
Yeah.
Huh? What? You're allowed to do that in a Bucs uniform? Yes. When the ball is coming towards your receiver and you're playing zone defense, you are allowed to attack said receiver. And God, he did it twice. Oh my God. Broke up a couple, almost had an interception for God's sakes. Yes. Mike Edwards on waivers was the key to this whole thing. Who knew? He literally said that after the game. I was like, huh?
The Bucs knew. That's why they went and got him. I guarantee you.
Well, then why did they get him before the freaking season? Or my God, why we waited so long? Go get the dude. Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
But so that was, to me, just that was the best part of this game, to see the defense have some, as good as the offense was, to see the defense have some life in the way they were playing. They played fast, they played aggressive, and for a change, everybody who says Todd Bowles is so aggressive, but honestly, there's a difference between blitzing a lot and being aggressive.
Yeah.
This time he was aggressive. 78% of the time in the first period. Not only he wasn't just blitzing 5, he was blitzing 6 and 7. And they were getting home and getting the pressure going. And that to me was right off the beginning of the game. Tommy Cutlets had no chance. No chance. We weren't getting to the sauce or the mozzarella. Like he wasn't even those cutlets weren't even getting cooked. We didn't have time. That was, and he stayed aggressive. Getting Jamel Dean back that can play, one-on-one with Neighbors is going to help you, who didn't even get a sniff in the first half. And the Giants are a disaster, by the way. They're wide receivers.
Look, surprisingly, Daniel Jones wasn't the problem.
Shocking development.
Go figure.
Think they wish they still had Saquon?
God. I mean, yeah, because that's why they didn't sign Saquon, right?
That's
because they're paying Danny Dimes.
I mean, and people get paid in personnel department a lot of money to make these decisions, and we got to see it in the offseason on Hard Knocks.
Dude,
people are like taking the clips now and where they're, it's just Saquon. It's just running back. 500 yards in the last 2 games, more than the Giants offense.
When Brian Daboll got that job, I was a big supporter. I was like, man, he's going to turn the culture around.
Yeah.
And Joel Shine, the GM, who was the assistant GM in Buffalo before he got that job, brought Daboll over from Buffalo. They gelled. They should have more cohesion than this. But dude, I am shocked, and I don't know if it's just are the Giants Cleveland? Because this is what happens in Cleveland every few years, right?
Yes, they are.
Because they had a good draft.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau is a beast if he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, dude,
good player.
He could be the best receiver in the NFL if he could stay healthy and if he can keep his head straight. I'm questioning the head straight part right now because you heard.
Well, he's got to be frustrated. Like I don't like when receivers talk about that,
dude.
but for God's sakes, can you blame him?
You're a rookie, dude.
I know, but can you blame him? I mean,
no, I don't blame him at all.
Somebody's going to stick a mic in your face and they don't even throw you the ball in the first half. And you're like, what are you supposed to say? It's like, you got nothing else and you still can't get me the ball on a wide receiver screen. You can't call a play for me. Not one.
And I don't blame him for what he said. I blame the organization because they don't have tight enough wraps on him, or maybe the entire staff, right? The entire roster to where he doesn't know better.
Throw him the damn ball in the first half, even if it's 3 tunnel screens. Get him the freaking ball. How about a couple of jet sweeps? He's your best player.
Yeah.
I mean, how stupid do you have to be? And Brian Daboll, it's pretty clear he got his reputation because Josh Allen's pretty good.
Right.
And
but he even made Mitch Trubisky look good when he was subbing for Josh for a while. Yeah, so I had big hopes for the Giants for him when he got there. But dude, that entire staff, including the GM, they need to go. They need to turn everybody over and start over. It's not working.
Yeah. So listen, the Bucs. This is what playoff teams do, though. Playoff teams go in there and whoop ass on bad teams. Look, the Giants had a week off, and I know it was a tumultuous week. I get it, But you know what? To me, we all sat here last week going, shiz. Tommy DeVito, he's 3-3. He's the one who sparked him. He was the one who sparked him last year. Was it last year?
Stupid do we sound now?
Yeah, it's like we've seen this though as Bucs fans. We've seen rookie quarterbacks and crappy teams light us up.
Yeah,
and Tommy DeVito, he did it last year. I'm like, oh crap! And this defense has been horrific. Even in Todd Bowles, 1-5 bye weeks, 0 for his last 5. Why would we? Now I thought we'd move the ball offensively, but defensively, I'm like, I don't know. That Malik Neighbors, who doesn't matter who quarterbacks. It's just, Tracy's shown some ability. So I was a little concerned. Maybe they'll get off the deck and listen, and that can happen in the NFL, and that's why I want to credit the Buccaneers for shutting that shit down from the very beginning. They didn't let him breathe. Don't get any confidence going and step on their neck. And to Bowles' credit, or maybe Liam's credit, they didn't, they kept coming. They kept coming offensively. They didn't I was like, in the second half, they're going to put it in the deep freeze. They're not even going to try to get the ball downfield. And it's going to be 24-17 before you know it. That didn't happen either. They stayed aggressive offensively. They stayed aggressive defensively. And, as I put on Twitter, I said, this looks like a playoff team. And people are like, oh, the Giants, they don't get, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, we did beat the Eagles. They're pretty good. Beat the Commanders. They're okay. We've had some decent wins here. It just, to me, this was a game where what good playoff teams do, they go out and they spank teams like this. And that's what the Bucs did. So I understand the Giants suck, but beating any team in the NFL 30-7 is really difficult to do, especially when you got jobs on the line. And everybody on that coaching staff and everybody on that football team knew that everybody's job's on the line. Those are when you see inspired performances. Those are when you see guys get off the mat and teams get off the mat. You see it every week in the NFL. And the Bucs said, we ain't having none of that. We're a good football team. In fact, we're a playoff team. And frankly, let's just be honest. This team should definitely have 2 more wins. If not for horrible game management, this team has 2 more wins. And not only are they talking about this team going to the playoffs and winning the NFC South easily, because I'm sorry, the Falcons aren't as good as the Bucs. They're just not.
I don't think so either.
Yes, we should still have Chris Godwin as well, in my opinion. So if those gross mismanagement did not occur, this team, that's sitting here at 5-6 could easily have 7, maybe even 8 wins. But I'll take 7. That's where they should be. That's exactly where, and on their way with the second easiest schedule in the rest of the league to get into 11, maybe even 12 wins, and being a number 1 seed. But we're not there. I get it. I'm getting way ahead of myself, and I know it's probably a complete overreaction Monday. But I've seen too much good football from this team. All right, and I see a team that's growing. As Tom Brady said, you want to see a team that gets better and better and better every week. And offensively, we've done that. Even with losing Mike and Chris, the running game has showed that we can do this. You're going to get Tristan Wirfs back. All right. Hopefully, we saw a little life from Brock Jarrett. We see a little life from Trey Palmer. We get, even J-Mac caught a big 3rd down pass. So hopefully these receivers are starting to get, a little bit of confidence going for them and some timing with Baker Mayfield. And look, they got to go to Carolina next week. There's a team that's won 2 out of their last 3 and took the Chiefs to the wire yesterday. So they're playing some decent football. So it's not a gimme next week, but a good playoff team should go in there and take care of business. And that's what I expect this Bucs team to do.
Yeah, and I said it on the on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers Daily Blitz I did immediately after the game. One of the biggest takeaways I said was, whatever you do, do not overlook the Panthers next week, because it would be very easy to do. After that, you've got the Raiders who are struggling. You've got the Chargers who I think are beatable. You've got the Cowboys who are going to be beatable. And then the Panthers again and the Saints. You've got an opportunity to maybe not run the table here because they are the Bucs still. That's but right. you could win, 5 out of those 6 games easy, 4 out of those 6 games very easily. And you're chasing you're only a game back now of the Falcons who are idle. You're actually closer to taking over your division than you are to the next wild card, because Washington is 7-5, so you're a game and a half back of them.
The Bucs should be in first place in 2 weeks. The Chargers and Vikings will take care of the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Bucs should win their next 2 games and be in first place in 2 weeks. That's what should happen. If that doesn't happen, and the Falcons get lucky, okay. But the Bucs should definitely, the Chargers is the only game on this schedule that they should come close to losing. They're too good of a football team.
And because it's in Los Angeles, that's a long trip. That's a long coast-to-coast trip. I get it. Raiders are at home. You travel to the Panthers. Cowboys are in Dallas. And then you've got the Panthers at home and the Saints at home to finish the season. So lots of opportunity here, but do not overlook the Panthers. I don't think they will. It's a division game. I get it. It's Dave Canales. Fine. But it's happened before, especially with this team.
Yeah.
It can't happen again. If you lose to the Panthers, just like last season, right? Going in late
deserve
season,
it. And then you
don't deserve the division.
And I'm completely wrong. Or let's see how you lose. Okay, if it's another horribly mismanaged game, then you know what we're talking about. So,
speaking of luck,
let me just hit this comment real quick because Rich was at the game yesterday. Said stadium was sold out to see Tommy Cutlets get destroyed. Fans started to cheer for the Bucs. It was great, loved it. But again, the fans were thinking the same thing we were. This is our week. The Bucs are coming in. They've lost 4 in a row. We got a little something for him. Tommy DeVito's got the Cutlets cooking up. We're gonna get Malik Neighbors running down the field here. We know Giants got defense gonna give it to Baker Mayfield. Watch, it's gonna happen. Nope, it ain't. Sorry, bud. Go back and have another slice in Hoboken. It's not happening.
But by the way, I talked to a couple of my cohorts that were at the game in the media yesterday up in New York. They said all of them had the same take. When Tommy DeVito got to the stadium, all the players make an entrance, right?
Right, of course.
They all said the same thing, that it was like a scene out of freaking Goodfellas. He's got his posse with him, his agent, whatever. I forgot the guy's name. His agent dude wearing the freaking hat that we've made fun of on this. Yeah, and we've made fun of in the past here. DeVito's got like his shirt open with all of the gold. I'm like, this is a bit, right? This isn't just how he goes around, and everybody's like, no, he's kind of adopted this whole thing now. So, I would have had to have laughed out loud, and I probably would have gotten shot or whatever.
Can you find a picture or some video of that? I got to see that.
I'll ask some people if they. Yeah, I'll ask my guys if they've got.
Because I thought he said in the post game this week he wanted to tone that down. He didn't want his agent on camera all week and all that stuff.
Well, it didn't happen yesterday.
Okay, well, that's what I heard. So I guess not. But
it was like out of a movie.
Nathan L said he listened to your Buccaneer Blitz. Well done. Michael Sogo says I got to listen to that. Yeah, it's part of the FanStream Sports Network, folks. We got lots of good content. Go check it out on the website. Nathan says Bucs Giants, a game that showed a GM and a coach who will be getting fired, who allowed good players to walk to not pay them. They are now on the other teams and are playing great. Giants terrible roster. Listen, this league is so much about talent acquisition and coaching. Everybody's got the same opportunities, salary cap, draft, et cetera, et cetera. The league is set up to make the good teams get penalized, the bad teams get an opportunity. And when you're consistently bad, like the Bucs were for so long, that's because you have horrible general managers, probably bad ownership, and terrible coaching. The NFL begs you, if you're a bad team, to get better. Make some smart choices, do some good trades, and you can extricate yourself from being terrible. Look what Houston has done that. It's just so it comes down to who's the leadership on your team. And right now the Bucs have, I think, top 3 general manager in the game in Jason Light. He's not perfect, but it's a tough league. It's a tough league. So a lot of different ways you can get it done, but you've got to make the right decisions in the draft, free agents, and get the best leaders. And I think the Bucs have done a great job of getting quality character guys and winning with them. And that's why I think this roster it's a very, very good young roster, sprinkled with some great veterans that are still very much in their prime. Lavonte David, by the way, had a really nice day yesterday. Got fresh legs, got healthy, and I thought he had a really, really good day yesterday. The defense played well. They were flying around. They were aggressive. It was fun to watch. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Scott Carter is going to join us from FloridaGators.com. What a day it was in the swamp. That was something special, so I wanted to give it its due. So Scott will join us. He was there. So many big plays in this game. And I tell you what, if you're a Gator fan, you got a good young football team, a really good young football team, and you should be excited about that. So Scott will join us next. This is we thank the Jeeves Law Group. We're coming to you live from the Jeeves Law Group studio here in beautiful South Tampa. If you have any legal issues whatsoever, the Jeeves Law Group will be there for you. Just go to the website, contact them through there, JEEVESLawGroup.com. That gives you a free case evaluation. They're local, they are trusted, and they get results. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Back in 3 with Scott Carter. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here. Coming to you live from our Jeeves Law Group studio. Our Gator Report is brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. I haven't heard from Scott yet, but I'm not sure if he was at the game on Saturday. If he was, if you're a Gator fan and you were there, I'd love to hear from you. That, we said this earlier in the season. That place is always it's a tough place to play for SEC games late in the year. And now 2 weeks in a row, LSU, Ole Miss, and that was one hell of a football game. Just back and forth, big plays by the Gator defense. Sophomores making plays, freshmen making plays, and Lagway. This just in is the real deal. He is absolutely the real deal. Making big throw after big throw, shaking guys off. A really good Ole Miss defensive line that's just got a couple of pros on it. It's it's a win that everyone will remember in the Swamp, and it has absolutely thrown the SEC into a tizzy. I mean, what do we have now? 6 teams with 2 losses, 6 teams with 2 losses. And who goes? I don't know. Hell, the Gators may be the best of the bunch right now. The way they've played, they lost in overtime at Tennessee, gave them everything they want, beat LSU, beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss, everybody was telling me they were the best team. And listen, Jackson Dart's one hell of a thrower. I think he's going to be a really decent NFL quarterback. They've got great targets. They've got talent all over the field. I mean, that's a really, really talented group. Yeah. And the Gators go up 7, then go down 7, come back, big play after big play. And Montrell Johnson, by the way, what a story he was. Scott wrote a great piece on FloridaGators.com about this young man who followed Billy Napier from Louisiana. Has had a lot of personal tragedy in his life. And on senior day to come up with the game-winning touchdown like that, and the Gator defense to get 2 picks, actually 3, late in the game to seal the deal. Special day. So Scott Carter will join us here in a minute. When you see him pop up, Tim, let me know.
Yeah, and they made Jackson Dart look silly sometimes.
At times they did.
He made multiple mistakes that he doesn't normally make. Sometimes he looked like a freshman out there. And he is way better than that. I'm not an Ole Miss fan by any stretch. Kind of a Jackson Dart fan. They seem to pump out pretty decent quarterbacks, for at least at the college level. But, dude, they just made him look silly. I was shocked.
Yeah.
This Gators team has improved so much over the past few weeks. They're a different team.
Well, it's such
an Napier for sticking with it.
Yeah, it's such an impressive place to play, too. So,
yeah.
All right. Do you see Scotty popped up? I know we got a lot of things up.
No, we do not
on our
have
board here. Says he's in. I don't know if we gave him the right link.
Yeah, he's not here.
You don't see him? Do a little producing on the air here. Give him some other information.
Yeah. So no team at Florida has done this in decades, beating 2 ranked teams back to back. This is the first time since 2008, after beating LSU last Saturday, and now you're beating number 9 Ole Miss this week.
While we're waiting for Scott, let's play this Billy Napier interview, which I thought was really cool. Let's be honest, folks. All you Gator fans had him fired. You all had him fired. He was dead man walking. So this is one hell of a comeback for him, and great patience by the administration. Anyway, here's Billy after the game. Very emotional. Oh, this is the wrong one. My bad. That's the 10 Dillingham. We'll show that later.
That's
Stay long. How proud are you of that group?
Man, I'm going to tell you, it's a blessing to coach, and man, what a blessing to be associated with that group of young men. I just have so much respect for what they've been through and how they handled it. We got senior day. We got some unique leaders in that group. I'm just so happy for our players, our staff. They work so hard. So, hope and belief are powerful. And somewhere along the way, we figured it out, and we started to realize that we can play with anybody. So, God's been good to me, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Your players called this roller coaster of a season inspiring. And now you've taken down your second string ranked team to end their playoff hopes. How is this group playing their best football right now?
Well, we talked all week about earning the right to win, and we mapped it out, day 1 through 5 and game day. And look, you got to earn the right to win throughout the week, and then you got to spot the ball on game day in this league, and you have to go earn it. So they did that today, and that was football in its purest form. I mean, it was offense and defense and special teams, field position, takeaways, explosive plays. And look, we got young players and veteran players. Football is a special game, man. I'm humbled to coach it, and I'm humbled to be a part of this team.
A month ago, so much noise swirling around this program and around you. You just took down a top 10 team, Coach. What did it take to get here?
Crying like a baby.
confidence in our people, confidence in our process. And look, I mean, I learned a long time ago, they love you when you win, they hate you when you lose, right? So for me, there's something about the game is conditional, right? And I think there's a life out there that's unconditional. So we earned the right to win today. I'm proud of our team.
Well, they're sure going to love you today, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was neat. That was really that was fun to watch right there. It was fun to see this group that had been maligned for so much, coaching staff, to go out and get a couple of wins like this in front of senior day. It's what it's all about, really is. And now they're going to go to Tallahassee and finish it off and just put an ass whooping.
I love when coaches get emotional like that too, man.
I do too. We're still having an issue with Scott jumping in here.
Yeah, he's not here.
I sent him a couple of invites from this show, so hopefully we'll get him in. Yeah, and a quick word on Florida State. I watched the condensed highlights of that. You know, they're playing College of Charleston or Charleston Southern, whatever.
Right, high school.
Whatever the hell they are. And they first play from scrimmage. They damn near get a safety. They had jet sweep it from like the 2-yard line. Great idea. Guy crashes off the end and almost gives a safety. And, they turn around. They win 41-7. Hell, USF put up 63 points on Tulsa, and Tulsa is 10 times better than Charleston Southern. Luke Kromenhoek looked pretty good. He can throw the football, and the receivers actually caught some of them, which was nice. But it gives you a little bit of hope that Luke can play, at a collegiate level. You can develop him. He's supposed 5-star. He can run a little bit, big kid, just raw as can be, and clearly has not been coached and developed as he should to this point. We've seen that all year long. It's hard to really gin up anything from what we saw this week, but it's a W. You got what you needed to do. But again, you should be scoring 70 points on a team like this, at least. 41-7. Some of the running backs did some nice things, but it's a joke. It's a joke of a season this year. Many big changes to come. They lost more recruits over the weekend. It's tough times at Tallahassee, and it's going to be it's going to be an ass kicking by the Gators in their own. And I said this on Twitter, and I hate to even write it, but I did it anyway. I said, hopefully, these players, these FSU players, will understand what this game is about. But they're mercenaries, so I doubt they will. And maybe we should print it on their
whenever you're ready.
Okay, print it on their NIL check. This is a rival game. You need to show up, and maybe they'll get the message that way, because they don't seem to be paying attention to anything that has to do with pride. And if any of these guys think they're going to the NFL with the tape they put on this year, I got news for you.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure I even want them back. It's been that bad a season, and sure, the coaching has been horrible, but have some personal pride. The effort's been even worse. All right, well, let's welcome him in. There's our good friend Scott Carter. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, there you are.
You hear me okay?
Gotcha.
Yep.
You're looking good.
Yep.
I love the background. Lots of books I've never read. You look like a smart guy. These are all the books. These are all the books I've read behind me.
Yeah, I try to fake people out, throw a lot of books here. And but yeah, just obviously a big weekend for Florida, man. One of those that we haven't had up here in a long time. And kind of reminded me of the old days, JP. Yeah. The crowd was rocking, and you had all the storylines with Lane Kiffin and Prince Lou Mamilin and Billy Napier needing this win, and Gators put together one of their best games we've seen in a long time, and now they go over to Tallahassee, as you guys were talking about.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. DJ Lagway, first of all, he looks like a grown-ass man in that pocket against some NFL defensive tackles that are trying to bring him down. He's shaking guys off and making plays. One of the big things we said about keeping Billy Napier around was, that'll keep, DJ Lagway around. I think he's proven already in his young career that he can be something special. What are your thoughts on what you saw in that pressure cooker of a game on Saturday?
Yeah, it was more the same what we've seen from DJ Lagway. I remember after the LSU game, I'm sitting there in the post game and I'm listening to DJ talk, and I tweeted at the moment, like, look, man, I'm all in on this guy. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm all in on DJ Lagway because that's, I'm one of those, I like to see a little bit of body of work. Certainly he's going to pass the test physically right after you see him play, but just the composure this guy has, the mannerisms, the way he carries himself, the way he's quick on his feet with the media. I mean, he's just a very impressive 19-year-old guy. And this is one of those players that I truly believe that, you hear coaches talking about it all the time. Is he a difference maker? DJ Lagway is a difference maker, in my opinion. And, against Ole Miss, he threw for 180 yards. He's still working really limited on one leg with that hamstring.
I know,
but
right?
He got rid of the ball in a couple of key moments where they were draped all over him. And he just managed the game really well. The defense did its job, and obviously they got the running game going with DJ Lagway. Montreal Johnson and company. So I'm a big Lagway guy. I think next year you're going to hear a lot about DJ Lagway. Maybe even from the start of the season, he's at least going to be on the fringe of that Heisman conversation. I think that's how good and how big his potential is.
And the fact that you said it, he's playing on one leg. He's probably 70-80%, which takes away a lot of – they probably don't want him running a lot. It's a little bit, but once he gets that part of his game going, and he's maybe not quite Cam Newton big. What is he, 6'4", 235?
Yeah, 6'4", 235. Like you said, not quite Newton, but he packs a punch when he runs. And, I think he's a good runner. He's not like an Anthony Richardson freak runner.
Right.
But what he is just, man, you mix that with his just, football savvy, his leadership abilities, got a big arm to throw down the field. I think, obviously he's going to work a lot in the offseason, I think, on those intermediate routes and getting a little better at those kind of throws. But everything you've seen so far, there's so much to like about the guy.
Yeah. Scott Carter joining us from FloridaGators.com. You wrote a great piece about Montreal Johnson, the guy who followed Billy Napier to Florida, and he gets great run, by the way, very patient run at the end there. He scores the game-winning touchdown on senior day, and he's a kid that's had a lot of tragedy in his early life. Talk a little bit about his story.
Yeah, Montreal Johnson, Jr. from New Orleans, and unfortunately his father was murdered out there around the time Montreal was 2. And so his mom, Keyshawn, kind of raises him and his little brother and little sister. And, he wasn't a big-time recruit coming out of New Orleans. Arizona offered him, but then, his mom says, hey, why don't you at least try to stay a little closer to home? So LSU wasn't interested, so he signed with Billy Napier at Louisiana. And Napier fell in love with him. He ran for about 900 yards as a freshman out there. And so Napier gets the job at Florida. And he's one of the main guys he brought with him to UF. And Montreal's been nothing but just a stand-up guy, a solid guy all through his 3 seasons here. He's led the team in rushing every year. And this year he's missed 3 games. I didn't know if we'd see him again because I know he has NFL aspirations. I think after a knee injury in the camp that he was able to recover from, there was some thinking that after the second injury, he might just shut it down and try to get healthy for the combine. But he's like, I want to get back. So he came back on senior day, and you guys, like you said, JP, had the big late touchdown to put up the Gators 24-17, 107 yards. And, I tweeted after it, even though he's missed 3 games, he has more rushing yards this season than Trevor Etienne at Georgia. So Gator fans kind of like that one.
For those of you who don't know, that was the Gators leading rusher who departed for their rival Georgia, who's suddenly not having a great season. And
neither
everybody
Bulldogs.
Everybody thought that was going to be no, maybe not.
Yeah,
and it's also opened the door for a kid by the name of Jaden Baugh, speaking of 237. This
Ball,
freshman.
He's got more rushing yards than both of them. But going back to your thing with Montreal, he's one of those guys that's easy to root for. I know there's a lot of going on in college football these days, and it's not quite as romantic as maybe it used to be for a lot of people. But I think Montreal Johnson Jr. is kind of a little bit of a throwback. Once he followed Billy Napier here, you knew he was in for the long haul. Been nothing but a good dude. And so you like to see those guys succeed, right?
Absolutely. And the future of this team looks so bright. Bryce Thornton with a couple of big picks. He's a sophomore defensive back. Seal the deal. We mentioned Jaden Lagway. I mean, this nucleus is a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. That's another reason to keep Billy Napier around, right?
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of the pieces in place. I think they need some parts maybe at the high end level where they can probably get through the NIL, or either hit on a big time 5-star something recruiting the way they did with DJ Lagway. But it's not. Let's face it, it's been a rocky ride this year in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's been one of the more interesting Florida Gators football seasons I can ever remember. And here they are 6-5 and a chance to, go over to Florida State and win, and then get a bowl game and win. If they finish 8-5, man, I think that is a tremendous job by Billy Napier in year 3 where they were. And I got
the toughest schedule in college football.
Yeah. And I'll give it to the guy. And it's hard because in this day and age, not only are you getting, shots from fans, you're hearing yourself, getting taken shots by the media, and it's all over, right? It's 24/7. You can't escape it like the old days. But man, Billy has been the same guy through it all. And that's hard to do. I don't know of many guys who could do that in this day and age. So I give him a lot of credit, the way he's handled things, the way he's kept his team together. And I think he's learned a lot this year, and I think he's showing signs that he can adapt. He can adapt. And even his play calling, if you look at it closely, it's even kind of evolved here in the second half of the season. So a lot of good signs for the Gators, and you got to go over to Florida State and win, because if there's ever been a must win for Billy Napier, this one is a must win.
Scott, this is obviously they knocked off LSU last week. You knock off Ole Miss this week. It's the first time that the Gators have knocked off ranked teams in consecutive weeks since 2008. You talked about the youth of the team. We just heard a clip from Billy Napier after the game. He was talking about this being part of his big picture journey. Belief is the most powerful thing in the world. It's a really young team. You commented on that. Wins like this late in the season against opponents like this gel the team together. This could have far-reaching effects, this little late-season surge on the team, on these young players that are going to be here, hopefully, for the next 2 or 3 years. How does that affect the program overall and these young guys who want to either are trying to make decisions to stay or to go? How does that just affect the program in general, do you think?
I mean, I think it's huge. I mean, as we all know, winning more than anything else takes care of a lot of the issues that teams have. And this is a young group, and they've been through a roller coaster season. They haven't really had a lot of, I guess, wide pockets of success. And with these 2 wins over LSU and Ole Miss, I mean, that's really the peak of their careers for a lot of these young guys. So now you've got a chance to, keep this momentum rolling going into next year, but also going into the recruiting season. I think you have a tremendous young player to sell other prospects around in DJ Lagway. I mean, if I'm a young receiver out there looking for a place to play, I'm looking at, hey, I want to go to Florida because DJ Lagway, man, what a playmaker this guy is. So I think there's just so much out there right now that's positive, it's just such a turn of events since, 2 months ago after that Texas A&M game. And here we are, 2 months later, and suddenly Florida is kind of like they're in like a really great position. So
destination.
That's what makes it all fun, guys. You just never know where this stuff's going to head sometimes. And I do give a lot of credit to Billy Napier and his staff. I thought at times they've been maybe deserving of some of the criticism in terms of maybe not adjusting enough, but I think he bought in, he adjusted, and look what happened. And I think it just shows coaches you can turn it around in season if you're willing to go off script some.
Yeah. Yep. He has made those adjustments. And as I said earlier, once they got through the tough part of the schedule with the ACC, which they're 0-1 against in Miami, and got to this easy SEC, it's it's lightened up a little bit for Florida. That's a joke. So at least you'll be 1-1 in the ACC when you're done. Don't worry about it. So now you got to play another tough ACC team in Florida State. Oh, I had to get that in. This is like, this could get ugly. This could get really, really ugly. And I think for Florida, after where they've been, I don't think, Billy Napier wants to take his foot off the gas. They're stealing Florida State recruits right and left. I mean, this is the time that, you don't want to, even though they may have coached against each other in the other leagues and been chummy, him and Norvell, this is the time for the Gators to step on their neck, right, and make a statement in the state. I would think.
Yeah, 100%, JP. There are momentum builders like last week over Ole Miss, and then there's momentum killers, and that's what a loss to Florida State would be right now.
Yeah.
So, that's why I said, Billy Napier really hasn't had many must wins at Florida. I look at this game as a must win. Florida has been underdogs in 7 straight games, and they've won 5 of those. But of course, they were 15.5-point favorite over in Tallahassee. So now the reverse is in effect. He's got to keep these guys locked in this week. It's Thanksgiving, it's a holiday break, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But you got to look at it and say, look, guys, throw away the big win over Ole Miss and LSU if we go over there and lose. Yeah. So you've got to have these guys focused. And, on paper, I like Florida. I think this is a game they should obviously win. But, Florida State, it could make their season if they were to pull this off. And it's just so unusual seeing, we've had some not great Florida State matchups in recent years.
Right.
But I don't think any of the teams have been as far down as 2-10, 2-9.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah. I think this is Florida State's worst team since Daryl Moodger, right?
Yes, since the Ophir team of 1975, 70, I think it was 74. Yeah.
So it's just an unusual place, and but that's where it is. And Gators, all they need to focus about, just go over and win.
All right, so I got to get your take on this crazy SEC, and Florida has been the fly in the ointment, for God's sakes. It would, and they went to the wire with Georgia and Tennessee. This could have been a really special season for Florida, if not for a couple of plays here and there. But you've seen them all. I mean, Texas is on top at 6-1, but they got to play. They got to go to Kyle Field and play the Aggies. If the Aggies upset them, then they're 6-2. The Aggies are 6-2. Tennessee's got 2 losses. Georgia's got 2 losses. I mean, Alabama, I think with 3 losses, you're out, right? You're out. So, how many do you think get into the playoff? And we'll just, even if Texas wins, Texas A&M, they'll have 3 losses then. So, who do you think is the best team in the SEC right now?
I mean, just from what I saw firsthand, and the Gators were horrible that day. I mean, Texas just rolled them. And, a lot of people say, well, Texas hasn't played anybody, but I think you can look at Florida as a little different now than you could 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think it's a win that they can look at it a little differently. I just like Texas. I think they're deep. I think they have the offensive firepower to hang with anybody. Their defense is pretty solid. And then after that, Texas A&M obviously has been a really good team. I know they lost to Auburn the other night in a kind of a
terrible loss.
Yeah,
terrible loss.
Yeah, it was, and I hate the 2-point way to win that.
I
game.
do too.
It's not the way it should be determined. But you're right, guys. I mean, if Texas A&M wins that game this weekend, man, is that going to be a mess? And then a lot of people are going to look back at Georgia. I mean, until you knock off the Dogs, I mean, they're still the class, right? Even though I know Alabama did knock them off last year. I don't know. It's really, I look at it, JP. If somebody said who is the best team in the SEC right now, I'm going with Texas. But after that, it's really, you could say 3 or 4 teams: Tennessee, Georgia, Texas A&M. Who else I'm missing? I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
Tennessee, no, Georgia, South Carolina.
South Carolina's 5
won 5 in a row. They're the hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah.
So
one of those wins was over A&M.
Yeah. So I love it personally because it just creates every week now is so interesting from just a viewership standpoint. And I know that someone's going to be really, really upset when the 12-team playoff is announced. Yeah. But hey, guess what? That's the way it should be.
Right. We thought surely with 12 teams, nobody's going to get butt hurt, right? But it doesn't matter how many teams you have. The first one out is always going to have a case to be the last one in.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is why it's great.
And there are no dominant teams. I don't see any dominant teams out there.
No.
I don't. Can Oregon lose? Hell yeah, they can lose.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously? Yeah.
I could easily see Oregon losing to a 2-loss SEC team if they were to match up in the postseason.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I will say this postseason is going to be fun, but Texas could end up, depending on what the other teams do. Now, when they beat teams when they were ranked, but by the end of the season, they may not have a win over a ranked team. Like all of the teams they've beaten that were ranked, like Michigan was ranked 10th, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Like they may not have a ranked.
They're not great wins.
Yeah. Weird stuff going on in the SEC.
Yeah, no, it get used to it, guys. I think with the NIL era and with more parity than ever before,
I agree.
This is the way it's going to start looking. And hey, I'm raising my hand. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, I like the parity. No question about it. The days of Alabama, having 15 straight years of being in the playoff or whatever, it's over.
I love the fact that we're not talking about Alabama as
they're done.
I love it, man.
Barely talking about Georgia.
Yeah, which is good. It's
how about Georgia, UMass? I mean, that matters. Like UMass, they're down 7 in the third quarter.
Yes,
to UMass, one of the 10 worst teams. Can you think a Georgia team would ever be in that situation? It does raise a lot of questions, though, about the parity across the board. And the SEC obviously is still the best conference. I'm not saying they're not, but there's a lot of weird things happening in that, to SEC teams when they go out of conference. It's not been as dominant.
How crazy is it to think right now on November 25th, as we approach Thanksgiving, that brand new ACC member SMU, right down the road from me, could have a first-round bye in the college football playoffs?
How about that?
How crazy is that?
We must be living back in the Pony Express days.
It's 1982 all over again, man. We got freaking Eric Dickerson,
Craig James. They're going to bring him to Charlotte with him. Yeah.
Right. God.
We'll see.
Man.
All right, partner. Appreciate you. FloridaGators.com. Great article up there right now on Montrell Johnson and the Gators' big win. Go check it out. Great stuff. Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate you jumping on today.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
I will not be in Tallahassee. I've not missed many Florida State games. I used to go to Florida Field, the Swamp all the time. I got a Lightning game this year, so I got a good excuse. And I think it's a night game too. It's at Doak Campbell Stadium, and the undergoing under renovations, but still tickets. I'm probably going to say it's probably going to be 50-50 Gator fans, because FSU fans don't want to go the shit.
They're not going to go.
They don't want to sit in a stadium and watch that and have a bunch of Gator fans. It's like,
I hate that.
Well, yeah, it can go down quickly and it can come back real quickly. So Mike Norvell's got a chance to, there's a lot of good players out there that are disgruntled, but you got to go find the right ones. Go find some more Braden Fisks and Jared Verse who are killing it in the NFL. Yeah. Go find 4 or 5 of those guys and it turns right back around. But Tallahassee, it's a great brand. But right now they're going to struggle to get recruits. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to turn it around, but we'll see. If they could somehow, these guys, and I don't see it in them. I haven't seen it in them all year long. Find some intestinal fortitude to even play with the Gators. That would be nice to see. I just don't expect it. I don't expect it at all.
I mean, in a season where we've seen just about anything can happen, just don't ever say never. We just don't know, right?
Yeah,
they could have the game of their life.
You would have seen signs by now that some of these kids have fight in them. There's just no leadership. There's no fight. I don't see any of it.
No, I get it.
So, yeah. I think at 15.5, I think it'll probably be maybe 20 by game time. Get it at 15.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I think Florida wins 42-7. I think that's probably where.
Probably not unrealistic.
But I'm not sure we'll score 7. Not sure we'll score. This is the most dreadful offense I've ever seen in my life. All right, quick break. We're going to come back. I'm going to talk some more. I got some numbers on the SEC that I think people will just make your head spin. So do that.
They said there was no math in this job, JP.
Oh, there's going to be lots of math coming up to you. Lots of crazy stuff happening around college football. The Arizona State win is just bananas.
Yeah,
we're going to get into some Rays stuff. I got I got some stuff to say about that.
Here we
lots
go.
more coming, and Bolts as well. Stay with us.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here. Gosh, Black Friday is upon us. How about that? Unbelievable. Thanksgiving week and all that good stuff. And it is the Black Friday 40th anniversary for the Gold and Diamond Source. They're celebrating their big anniversary. The first 40 people that buy a $1,000 gift card will receive one of our 40th anniversary gold sand dollars to commemorate our 40th anniversary. Plus, we'll still have our $1,000 gift card match all day Black Friday. That means if you buy up to $1,000 gift card, we will match it, giving you $2,000 to spend. On Saturday and Sunday, you can purchase up to a $500 gift card, and we'll match it, giving you up to $1,000 in spending power. So once again, the first 40 people that buy a $1,000 gift card will receive one of our 40th anniversary gold sand dollars. That's a big deal. And, of course, you'll get the gift card match on Black Friday. So get on over there today at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, just about a 20-minute drive from downtown Tampa. This holiday, make sure you do your holiday shopping at the Gold and Diamond Source, and make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source real diamond. That's a big deal over there. At the,
Very big deal.
Golden Diamond Source. You get $2,000.
Yeah.
And you give the card, right? You give the $2,000 gift card. It only costs you $1,000. You don't have to tell them that. Or it doesn't have to do $1,000. You can do a 500, 100, whatever, and they'll match it. So that's pretty cool over there at the Gold and Diamond Source. But take advantage of the big one.
Always.
BOGO, baby. BOGO on diamonds.
JP, real quick, I had a moment that I need to share and see if you've come across this. You and I are a few years apart in age. You're just a tad older than me. So I don't know if you experienced this as like a teenager. Well, I'm 32. I'm 32 years old.
I'm 39. You're right.
So I don't know if you experienced this as a teenager, but we used to hang out in malls all the time.
Yeah.
In the 80s. Yeah. Right? That was our social network. We in here in Dallas, we had the Galleria that was brand new. In the early 80s.
The Galleria, yeah. We had the Hollywood Fashion Center.
Yeah, we had Prestonwood Mall that's not there anymore. We had Vista Ridge Mall that's not there anymore. Like all my malls are shut down, right?
Right. Yeah.
My kids.
They're big churches now.
I've got 3 teenage boys that live at home with me that have never experienced a mall. So over the weekend, I was like, guys, we're taking a family field trip. And they're like, what
it's a history lesson.
And I'm like, we're going to the Galleria. And they're like, what's a Galleria? So on the way there, it's about a 20-minute drive and I'm driving them down there and I'm explaining to them, look, we didn't have internet, social media. I said, this is where we went to meet girls. Like that and Six Flags Over Texas and the skating rink on Friday nights. That was where we met girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling them all this story. I said, dude, when we get there, it's going to be packed. It's freaking it's Thanksgiving, the weekend before Thanksgiving, and everybody's starting early Christmas shopping and blah, blah, blah. And the Galleria is a 3-story mall. It's the biggest mall.
I remember when it came out. Yeah.
All of the biggest name brand stores, all of the great boutiques and stuff that exist. And of course, I haven't been there in probably 20 years or more, right?
Yeah.
So we can park in the parking garage that's always packed. I'm worried about finding a place to park. I pull right up to the front where the elevator
I know where this is going.
And I'm like, are they open? So we get into the elevator. We go down to the bottom floor, walk through Bloomingdale's to get into the mall. Yeah. And we walk into Bloomingdale's and it's like crickets.
Ghost
town. And I'm like, my kids are looking at me like, what is this place?
Where are the chicks, Dad? Where are the chicks?
My kids are 18, 16, and 14, okay? So they're all girl crazy. We get through Bloomingdale's and we walk into the mall. And when I walk out of the store into the mall, it's like angels are singing like, oh, as I peruse visually take in the mall. Dude, I think we saw 3 people.
Yeah.
As we walked through the barrier from Bloomingdale's into the Galleria, and we're walking around, I said, well, let's go check out the food court and the skating rink. I mean, it's always packed there. Right, this was like a Saturday.
Right.
And
it's a football Saturday.
Dude, there were 5 people in like 9 restaurants at the food court. We look over.
How are they still open?
Where the skating rink is, where I used to skate. And by the way, I got chased out of, there's a different story. I got chased as a teenager, got chased out of the Galleria by security because I was throwing cups of Big Red, like that I got from whatever the Sbarro's Pizza at the food court. I'd buy like 3 or 4 little small ones, and then I'd go up to the 3rd floor overlooking the skating rink, and I'd throw them like grenades off of the top.
Yeah, right.
They'd get to the ice and they would explode all red. And it looked like blood. Like nobody knew what it was. I got chased out of there. Anyway, I told that story to my kids.
Right.
But dude, the entire time they're like, Dad, you came here on purpose? Or was this like when you were grounded and you had to? I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like this place.
Brick and mortar is dead, my friend. Yes, it's all, nobody goes anymore.
It's the Galleria. It's North Dallas. This place has still got to be booming. But they had all of the empty storefronts in the mall. Even the anchor stores have pulled out.
It's sad.
And I had to sit there and explain to them.
I said, we didn't. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, y'all have to visualize this place is literally packed. And I run out of paper giving my phone number out and getting phone numbers from girls and stuff at the mall. I'm like, y'all don't even know. And they're like, yeah, Dad, we're pretty sure you're making all of this up. That never happened.
That never happened.
Whatever.
No, It's a different world because kids now gather online. They don't even gather in places. Everybody's gathering online. They play with each other over Snapchat or whatever, you know, like it's crazy. We didn't really hang out at the mall. We hung at a Stratford's bar where Friday nights for $2.95 is all you can eat fish. And it was good fish, fish fries, and you could buy a beer for 50 cents. So like 50-cent beers, all you can eat fish fry, all you can eat shrimp fry, like or Ricky's bar, or most of the time we just hung out at the beach at Garfield Street. Street Beach was a big parking lot and they had some paddleball courts there, but everybody would just gather at the beach. That was our, you know, and of course we drinking beers, and because the drinking age was 19 back then. Yeah. 18, 19. And so, you know, we weren't that far removed from it. So totally different time. And it ain't
kind of hurt. It kind of hurt me a little bit.
Of course
right?
it did.
Like,
man.
I'm like,
it's human connection is
and
no
my
longer.
16-year-old is kind of into this girl at school at high. He's a junior.
Yeah, you'd meet him at the mall.
It's just like his first real chick.
Now they just hang out online and FaceTime the whole time.
He's excited about her. He talks about her every day. And Dad, they chat on Instagram, like they text each other, right? I'm like, well, have you talked to her on the phone sometimes? He's like, no, Dad, we don't. Come on.
We don't talk on the phone. We don't actually.
I'm like, well, do you want to, like, they're in theater together and all this stuff, and he always gets excited when he talks. I said, well, do you want me to? Why don't y'all? You want me to take y'all to a movie? I'll chaperone with you or whatever. Yeah. And he's
drop him off at the mall.
He's like, Dad, nobody does that. I'm like, well, how do you plan on getting to know her? He's like, well, I talk to her at school and I chat with her. I'm like, man, it is an entirely different world, and I don't understand it. Like an old man, like, get off my lawn.
It's the way it is, partner. We have to adjust. We have to adjust. Oh, but well, you know, and then when they get to college and they actually have to see people and have face-to-face conversations and stuff,
they don't know.
They lose their minds. Like what happened in Arizona State this weekend. See the great transition I just made
right there. Yeah, great segue.
See if you can cue this up, because I tried to play it earlier. And I think I got past the good stuff. And so what happens at the end of the Arizona State BYU, I believe they're playing. And so the clock run. First of all, Dillingham does this crazy thing at the end of the game of trying to run out the time. He doesn't want to score and give them the ball and then them to be able to onside kick. If he scores, they would go up 2 scores, I think. But still, they would have been able to onside kick. Have a minute left. There's still a pathway. So he says, instead, I'm going to try to make my quarterback run backwards and kill some time, and I think we can get this done. So he loses, he runs backwards on 3 plays, or I guess 3 plays, and he's almost back to midfield, or at that midfield. Then there's 7 seconds left. He said, just drop back, throw it as high as you can, and when the ball hits, the clock stops when the ball hits, even if it hits in the stands, no matter where it hits. Yeah. So they go back, so the ball hits, the clocks go to 0, and the fans just rush the field. And Dillingham's, he's a young guy. Yeah. He's been, he's kind of, he acts like a freaking frat boy in his press conferences and everything. He's like, you want a better team? Here's, go to the collective and pay our players. They don't get paid enough. He's like, he's a player's coach, right? So, but this is after the game. All the students are on the field, and the officials are looking in the screen, and they're surrounded by kids. Like, this is insane. And they actually decided to put 1 second back on the clock and do a Hail Mary. The guy caught it, but he was at the 2-yard line. Arizona State wins. But watch the behavior of Dillingham. This is freaking chaos. This could have got real ugly. Look at this.
That is on the field, too.
They're surrounding the officials like it's a mob. Like, how are you even going to make this call?
That is on the field. During the game.
Who's this guy with the long hair? Like, look at all these. Listen. Fucking bullshit. Oh, my God.
Losing his mind. He's going to start a riot.
Yeah, that was a dangerous situation. Listen, I understand, you may feel like you're getting jobbed, but dude, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. And, I looked a little bit at it. Is there a question whether the ball hit in the stands? You can kind of hear a thunk. I don't know how, but maybe I don't even know if that's the ball hitting. Could you make the case that there was a second lap? Yes, you could make the case. How these officials were bold enough and courageous enough to make that call, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't have done that. I'm getting the hell out of there. Like, that's dangerous. And his reaction, as much as I laugh at it, it's just like, dude, what are you doing? You can't do that, man. That could have. I mean, if those fans turn on those officials and somebody's injured,
yeah,
you got blood on your hands,
man.
That is crazy. You got to find a way.
I don't know that there was a better choice for Arizona State than to bring in Kenny Dillingham. I mean, you're still trying to recover as a program from the Herm Edwards era,
right?
With all of the controversy and the scandal that he brought to the school, and then he left. Sean Aguano comes in for one season, makes almost more of a mess of things. It's one of the worst programs in the Pac-12 under him. And then Kenny Dillingham comes in and
from
goes
Florida State, by the way.
Yeah. And goes 3-9 the first season and last year, and now look what he's doing this year. I mean, just amazing.
They're
job
9-2. They're 9-2, right? And they play Arizona this week.
Yeah. And they'll beat Arizona.
Yeah,
the way they're
playing
right now.
They win the Pac-12.
They're in the Big 12 now.
They're in the Big 12 now. Who won the Pac-12 this week? Washington State.
Washington State beat Oregon State, or what is it? Yeah, Washington State beat Oregon State. The two teams that are still in the Pac-2.
Washington State's had a nice year. They've had a nice year.
Yeah, they beat Texas.
So
Tech
Arizona State's like 9-2 now. They play Arizona. So, and they have a chance to go to the Big 12 championship game, I'm guessing, right? So, because Colorado loses, Colorado gets beat by Kansas. Kansas is beating Iowa State. They beat BYU, gave them their first loss, and then they beat Colorado and manhandled Colorado and Coach Prime. Now they could still get back in. I think Coach Prime can get back in if who loses this week. Gosh, I'm blanking on this. I should have wrote this down. My bad. So, but they still can get back in, but it's going to be tough for them to get into the playoff at this point. They've got 3 losses. So, but they could still win the Big 12 and get in, right?
Yeah.
If a couple things happen.
If they can win the big, but I mean, it'd be a stretch for them to win.
And then they got to win the Big 12 championship game.
The title game, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot there for Coach Prime, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. So yeah, what a wild weekend in college football. And so I wanted to read this little thing I got on Twitter about the SEC, and I was actually flabbergasted at all of it, to be quite honest. Okay, here it is. Number 3, Texas will likely finish the season with 0 wins over ranked opponents. And they played an SEC schedule. Number 7, Alabama.
They'll beat A&M this week. A&M's number 15.
But again, will they? What we're talking about is beating at the end of the season. Will any of these teams be ranked? Vanderbilt won't be ranked. Michigan won't be ranked.
A&M won't be ranked if they lose to Texas.
A&M might not be ranked.
Yeah.
But Texas may lose to A&M. I don't. We don't. How good is Texas?
We don't know.
I think they're good. I think they're really good.
Quinn Ewers is up and down, man. Quinn Ewers is up and down.
Quinn's are injured. And evidently, by the rules that we've now established in the playoff, if your starting quarterback is injured, you're done. You're out.
You're ineligible.
You're ineligible, right? Kirk Herbstreit, isn't it? Isn't that correct?
Oh, Kirk.
We established this last year, right? Are we talking about this, Kurt? Are we going to have a narrative now about Texas? Well, no, it's because their backup is Arch Manning. Oh, so it matters who your backup is. Does it matter how good your defense is? Clearly not.
So if Will Howard goes down, Ohio State's ineligible for the playoffs.
They're out. They're ineligible.
And that's his school. That's his school.
Yeah, but I think ESPN will be making that narrative. No. Anyway, I digress. Alabama, blown out by Oklahoma. Oklahoma. What the hell? Jalen Milroe, who looks so good, throwing bad picks. Like, wow, that's a bad loss. Ole Miss lost to unranked Florida, right? Georgia struggles with UMass, who's bottom 10 team in the nation.
The whole nation.
What the hell? Come on now. You're telling me that the reason these teams have losses is because they're getting beat up across the board. Cal beat Auburn. Auburn just beat A&M. And who knows? Auburn may be Alabama. Cal went to Auburn and won. Cal.
Yeah.
FSU beat Cal.
Yeah.
Seriously, what are we doing?
And Auburn beat A&M.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Is the SEC they're all beating each other up? They're head and shoulders above each other? No, I don't think so.
No.
And, of course, Miami smoked Florida. Now, of course, there's some decent out-of-conference wins, but there's a lot of out-of-conference losses that have you scratching your head that make the case. The SEC is just kind of meh this year. And I think we're going to be a lot of meh moving forward because of NIL and the transfer portal. That is, you can't stash talent anymore. You can't stash talent. There's even guys that are starting that are like, nah, I'm out of here. So it's a new age, and now we're trying to find the best 12 teams. I don't think there's a big difference between the 12th team and the 25th team, to be quite honest. I really don't. And if the 12th team played the 24th team 10 times, it'd probably be 5-5. So which team gets in? We don't know. I mean, to me, this is crazy. 4 teams, the committee almost had an easier job doing that than it's going to be with 12.
Oh, easy.
Like how do you pick out is Tennessee better than South Carolina? At this point, South Carolina is the hottest team in the SEC.
You know who the Longhorns' best win is this year? Vanderbilt.
Yes.
A 3-point win at Vanderbilt.
Yes. Yeah, that's their best win. And we're supposed to say Texas is, the number 1 team in the land, or Oregon's number 1, or the top 3 team. I mean, it's bizarre. I love it, though, personally. I kind of love it.
I do too. We always cheer for chaos.
Which, by the way, will make this, and people want to say, well, Indiana they don't deserve anything. I don't know. Do they? I mean, I watched a little bit of that game, and the Ohio State, they hung in there for a while, right? Ohio State kind of ran away at the end. Right. A couple of really bad turnovers for Indiana. Let's just be honest with it. I mean, Ohio State had a lot of short fields, and they had punt muff and a couple other bad, unlucky situations, or they're in this game. Now everybody wants to throw Indiana out. I'm not sitting here saying they're the best team in the nation, but let's hold on. They got 1 loss, for God's sakes, and they housed almost everybody they played.
Do you want to hear real quick who Indiana's wins are over? Real quick.
Yes.
FIU, Western Illinois.
Give me the scores.
FIU 31-7, Western Illinois 77-3, UCLA 42-13, Charlotte 52-14, Maryland 42-28, Northwestern 41-24, Nebraska, that was a big one. I watched that one, 56-7. Washington 31-17.
Nebraska beat Colorado, correct? House Colorado. Okay.
Yep. Michigan State 47-10. Michigan 20-15. And then you lose to Ohio State 38-15.
Again, I'm not saying they're the best, but they have 1 loss. So, and everybody's already thrown them out because we got to get another 4-loss SEC team in.
No, give me Indiana over a 4-loss or 3-loss SEC team.
Yeah. I mean, it's just chaos, which is what we love. What we love. Absolutely. And by the way, so let's talk before we get off the college football. USF 63 points they scored, 715 total yards against Tulsa. The best interception you'll see all year, Ben Knox. I don't know if you saw this. He's running one-on-one down the sideline. The kid catches it. While they're running, he wrestles the ball away from them. I'm like, that was special.
That was a very George Teague versus Miami back in the first SEC title game, or in the championship game. Yeah,
they forced 5 turnovers. They were 42-7 at the half, 454 yards of total offense. Bryce Archie was 21 of 31 for 305 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So they had much more balance. So they're now 6-5 going to their last game at Rice, which should be, last 3 teams they played, they've housed, and every one of their coaches have gotten fired. So Rice's coach is getting fired after this game. Yeah. They're going to be 7-5 and go to a bowl game. probably play a pretty decent team. Last year they beat Syracuse 45-0, so a chance for them to get one more win and really keep building, get those 15 practices for next season.
God, how'd they lose to Navy, man?
Yeah, and that's a thing. It's like they're putting up a lot of big numbers off bad teams. They've not beaten a good team either last year or this year, and certainly not a top 20. If I'm not mistaken, I have to go back through it, but I don't think they've beaten a real good team, and they've not been competitive against the good teams in some ways. So while they were competitive against Alabama, they were competitive against Miami for 3 quarters. So, I mean,
but the final scores don't reflect that 42-16
right,
and
exactly,
50-15. Yeah.
I mean, if against at Alabama, they're a 4th down play, from tying the game if 7 minutes left in the game. Yep. So they went toe to toe with Alabama, and Alabama and again, that's the SEC. USF, who's not going to win the AAC. Alabama struggled with them at home. Struggled. Georgia struggled with UMass. These are not the dominant teams that we used to know. Let's reassess what we know historically about the SEC. It's a new game now.
Parity.
So let's just.
Vanderbilt's good. Come on.
By the way, Byron Brown warmed up for this game. Their quarterback, their fine quarterback, Bryce Archie, though, is at 4-2 now. Will Byram start next week against Rice and then the bowl game? I think if you want to keep him around, which I think you do, then he's got to play and play well. But how do you upset the apple cart, even though it's 3 bad teams that you've played? Bryce Archie's getting it done. So there's a little weird thing going on with Golish and his quarterbacks. So we'll see how that goes. But if you're a USF fan, you got to be absolutely just over the moon. Jeff Stutler corrects. He says Oregon State beat Washington State 41-38. That's right. That's a good one. Rick says, no wonder Tim hasn't been to the mall in 20 years. He had a trespass warning against him. Yeah. At least you didn't get arrested. How funny would that have been?
They'd have caught me.
You'd have walked in and, Paul Blart walks up to you, mall cop, and is like, I got a picture of you when you were like 19. Like, excuse me, sir, facial recognition. You're not allowed in here.
How funny would that be in front of my kids? They're like, what did you do, Dad?
Oh, my God.
I was like 15.
James talking about Bucs. Let's take a break. We're going to come back and get to all your comments about the Bucs. I want to revisit that win and get your comments in here as well. So we'll get to all the great comments when we come back. I got a little segment on the Rays that I got to get to and a couple other fun things as well. The Bolts.
But you don't want to talk about Stars Lightning, do you?
No, we'll talk about Stars Lightning with your lucky win. We'll talk about that. Well, if I was there, I would not have allowed that happen. But if I was out on a boat somewhere, I blame Rock Riley. It's clearly Rock Riley, my replacement's fault. He is in the eye of the storm when we come.
I was like, of all the games for JP to miss, it had to be the Stars game.
Exactly. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance, by the way. 60 years they've been doing business. If you're having issues with your homeowner's insurance and you need some information, give them a call. I just ask you that you allow them to shop your homeowner's insurance around, your auto insurance, your business insurance as well. They do it all and can save you money. They do all the work. You save all the money. It's a pretty good deal, and you can trust them with the best customer service in the business. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 or italianoinsurance.com. Back in 3.
Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, coming to you live from the Jeeves Law Group studio, along with IndyCar Tim, coming to you live from our Dallas studio. Looking dapper right there, my friend. We are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues at home after the hurricane, need a new AC unit, they do AC as well. Or you have plumbing issues or any home issues that you need some help with rebuilding, they can help you out. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com, been in business since 1995. Our good friend John Rodriguez, big Rays fan, big Tampa Bay fan. Family's been in Tampa for a long, long time. 3 generations. That's why they call it ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Go to their website and tell them JP sent you. Great folks.
Does that mean eventually it's going to be 4th generation plumbing?
That's right. I would think so. Yeah.
All right. That's a good bit.
They have to change the name as long as it goes. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So let's get to some of the comments, shall we? After the Bucs' big win. Jordan G says, welcome back, JP. The crews look fun. Oh, I got stories. There's too much to talk about on Monday. I don't want to.
No icebergs, huh? No icebergs.
Did not hit an iceberg. But there was plenty of icebergs in my.
I bet there
rum,
was.
My Appleton rum on the rocks. I drank a whole freaking bottle of that stuff. Yeah, it was good time. I'll just say this about cruising. We went on MSC. We did the yacht club thing, which seemed like the upgrade thing where they give you whatever. So you have free drinks. You have your own bar. You have your own restaurant. Your own everything. And it was fabulous. The service was so freaking good. I highly recommend it. Food was pretty good. Just give it a pretty good. But there's so much. This is the staff way now. It's fantastic. But I will say this. People, please look in the mirror before you go out in a bathing suit. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. But come on. I'm no Adonis. I'm not saying that. But they're just, please. Good Lord.
Well, they don't care because they're on a stupid cruise where they don't know anybody. That's where they can feel confident and comfortable because they don't care.
I'm not saying it's like maybe choice of swimwear. It's like,
all right.
Anyway, Georgie says the last couple minutes of all the 1:00 games, aside from the Bucs game, was the craziest sequences in NFL football I've ever seen. Mixed extra point, kick return. You were talking about the Dallas game, but there were other games too that was crazy.
There was a bunch. Yeah.
Yeezy says Baker Mayfield does everything. My favorite Bucs quarterback in a minute. Thanks Brady for the ring, but he didn't care about the city like Bake does. Refuses to go down without swinging. I totally agree. It's been part of my narrative with Baker. I love him, and I love that he's become such a part of this community. I think the Texas team and the Florida team, high school football teams. I think he did one in Texas and in Florida. That he paid $18,000 for their equipment. They won a state championship.
Yeah,
the money he's given
on Friday a little bit. Yeah,
so many people. I mean, we just love. He's so involved in the community. He's just he's funny at the podium. He's very glib. He talks about him. I mean, just really, really good. The way he leads on the field. I'm going to do this poll this week. Okay, who would you rather have Thanksgiving dinner with and hang out and watch football? Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield, 100%.
Baker Mayfield. Oh, but Tom's got 7 rings. I could learn. No, Baker all day. Baker, right?
You know why? Because Baker'd bring all the beer.
That's right. Yeah,
Tom would bring his stupid TB12 energy drinks.
You'd be eating tofurkey.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna need vodka to put that energy drink in. Baker just drinks it all.
I've got this nice roasted tofurkey for you here. We've got a nice thing of steamed kale. You like some steamed kale? No mashed potatoes here. We have some organic carrots. No. Can I get the Havana Club on the rocks with some gravy and can't wait.
Have you ever heard that weird story about Tom Cruise and the holiday cakes he used to give out to all of his friends?
No.
So Tom Cruise doesn't eat like cake, right? He eats like vegetable loaf or something, right?
Vegetable loaf.
Well, he would send all of his, very close friends during the holidays for years these cakes, right? That were in boxes and boxes that he had made and shipped. Nobody ever ate them because it's from Tom. It's going to be a vegetable loaf. I don't even want to open it and look at it. Right. Nobody ever opened it. And then in an interview one time, he was with, I think it was John Hamm or somebody, who they were talking about it together. And Tom Cruise goes, "You thought I sent you a what?" And he was like, "Yeah, I never opened it. Look, I get it. Vegetable loaf." And Tom's like, "I never sent that to my friends. I sent y'all real cakes. Like, it's a holiday cake. Y'all don't eat what I eat." John Hamm was like, "Yeah, Tom, nobody ever opened any of your cakes because we all assumed it was vegetable loaf." And it wasn't. He was sending
fruit cake. I thought you were going to tell me, he goes, "You guys didn't open it? I put $1,000 into every one of those cakes. There was a little thing,
Yeah, no, trust me,
envelope with $1,000 in it." They'd be like, "What?"
The ones he was sending cakes to didn't need the $1,000.
Yeah, probably, right? Christopher Cole says, "I called the Gator win. Good for you. I bet on him again. 3 weeks in a row. We won money on the Gators. No, we didn't. We didn't bet the Texas game. We didn't bet that game. Jordan, people expected Indiana to keep up with OSU. Give me a break. Their strength of schedule was like 106 nationally. Indiana was the equal of last year's FSU if they went undefeated. Screw!
Wow!
Screw you. We beat your beloved LSU SEC team. We were 2-0 in the SEC. Beat Florida at Florida without a quarterback. Beat Louisville at a neutral site, a very good, explosive Louisville team without a quarterback. We would have beaten somebody else without a quarterback in the playoffs. That was a great football team. It has nothing to do with this football team. Any of you people equating the two of it, who else did we beat? We beat Miami then. We beat one at Clemson. They never lost another game after we beat them. Shut the hell up.
I just love that here now, a year later, the 2023 Florida State football season still gets JP up in arms.
Goddamn right it does. Look how good these guys are balling in the NFL. Did you see Jared Verse run over that tackle yesterday?
Dude, he's a bad man.
Bad man. God. Richard Bolt says that JP FSU question, with FSU losing recruits like crazy as Mike Norvell on a short lease. I'm glad I was wrong about the Bucs that thought they were going to lay an egg yesterday. I know, Richard. I mean, I was a little iffy. That's why I think it's such a big win for them. People want to just fluff it off as though it's a bad Giants team. I disagree. You smash anybody in the NFL like that, that means you're a really good football team. No, Mike's not on a short lease because he's got a $62 million buyout, man.
That ain't A&M. It's not Texas A&M.
And he shouldn't be. You're 1 year removed from going, from winning 19 games in a row. So this has been a confluence of things, and
I couldn't be more disappointed. I could be, I'm taking shots at Norvell for his play calling and his game management that's been awful. It just, the whole thing just went south. It's a perfect storm. Last year was a perfect storm of good. This has been a perfect storm of bad, and it's a regression to the mean. So yeah, you've got a chance now. Go find 2 great coordinators, let them hire great staff, start recruiting, hit the portal and do something, You had a bad year. It's the way it goes. You'll see a lot more of that this year. In the coming years. Michael Storgel says, but did Baker go to the blue tent in the game? Yes, he did.
Yes. Came back and play later.
And by the way, what the F is Baker coming back in the game for? That's so stupid. And he almost got hurt again.
Do you want Kyle Trask out there?
Yes. I want Kyle Trask out there. Guess what? Because Baker plays a reckless game. And guess what? It's the NFL. He could get hurt. He almost got hurt twice in his game when he shouldn't have even been in the game. Get him the hell out. Get Kyle some snaps. What the F's going on here?
I think if you want Kyle Trask in the game, you're rooting for losses for the Bucs. I don't care what the score is.
They're up 30-7.
I don't care. Kyle Trask comes in the game, you're going to give up 40 points.
Yeah, because he plays defense. Nathan Elliott
Who's
says,
the other
Bucs
team?
Giants, a game that showed a GM and a coach who will be getting fired. Allow good players to walk away. That is the Giants. William Madison,
by the way, we brought this up in our pregame, JP, about Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
For the Eagles now, played last night. He outgained the entire Giants offense 255 to 245. I don't think we mentioned that on the show.
How about that?
How stupid did the Giants
Oh, he had over 300 scrimmage yards yesterday.
Right. Just on the ground, though, 255.
Yeah, one of only 2 players in the history of the game to do that, Ollie Madsen and Walter Payton. Yep. He's having a historic season. William Madden says, great show, JP. Did you see Alabama making the playoffs even though they don't deserve it? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because ESPN's all up in their ass and all up in the SEC's ass, and they don't care about who's better. They just care about what brand that they have to protect and put into the show to make it.
Everyone knows it's
show.
Big 12, Big 10 championship series.
It's a TV show, and it's about ratings. So they're going to put the teams in that give them the best ratings, and that's Alabama. So if there's any, if it's between Indiana and a 3-loss Alabama, Alabama's going. Get used to it. It's happening. And listen, is Alabama a better team than Indiana? I mean, the easy answer is yes. How do you know that? Indiana's better than USF, and USF took Alabama to the 4th quarter on their own field. So you don't know that. You don't know that. Play it. Play the game. Play the game, God damn it.
Yeah, that's why we have it.
Hugh Jetson says that was the most energy I've seen from Todd Bowles. I applaud him for challenging, even though it looked like the flag out of his pocket. That was a stupid
by accident.
That was a stupid challenge at a stupid time. Even if you win the challenge, what's it, 12 yards, whatever. That was a dumb challenge. I disagree. E-Rich says I was at the. Oh, we already showed that one. I heard the Buccaneer Blitz show. Well done.
Thank you, Nathan.
Rick says good NFL teams play their best in November and December. Battle tested for January. Hopefully Todd sees that his job is at stake. Well, he should know that. Richard Bolt says, oh, there it is. Great win by the Bucs. I thought they were going to lay an egg. I kind of felt the same way.
We all talked about it all week.
Yeah.
By the way, good news for the Bucs also, JP, as we were talking about their future schedule with the Raiders coming up. Gardner Minshew out for the year.
Oh,
they're gonna face Desmond Ridder when they play
who
the
beat
Raiders.
them last year.
Yeah, but not with the Raiders.
Scott Raznick says, JP, what do you think about a Ray Stadium where West Shore Mall is? No, West Shore Mall is going to be this incredible development of condos and all kinds of crazy, really cool stuff. So they're going to mow that down and put up all this residential and businesses and a little, eateries and entertainment area. That's going to be really nice. So that's going to be where that is. The Rays Stadium, I think we're going to get in one more break, and I'll give you a little bit of that. Or do we need, how many breaks are we taking? We have 4.
3. We've taken 3.
We need one more. Okay. So what else? Georgie says Gators would have beat UJ with a healthy Lagway more than likely. I agree with that 100%. Georgia ain't all that. Christopher Cole, how bad is the Giants culture and leadership when a rookie wide receiver is the only one out there to speak and he said the truth? I know.
It's so bad. Christopher Cole agrees with me. ESPN will find a way to put Alabama and Georgia in. Damn right. Tell me that. James says Whitehead hasn't played well. He's not the same player that was here before the Jets. Edwards will fill in. The only problem is Bucs can't play a dime package now. They can. They just need some other guys to step up, but I would agree with you. James also says, don't take the 7 points Bucs gave up as a sign of things to come. Giants can't score on anyone. Panthers will have no problem scoring. Wow.
I disagree with that.
Have a chance. Oh, Bucs D is still bad. Huh.
I think they've made tremendous strides the defense has this season, especially late this year.
But the Bucs?
Yeah.
They were awful till yesterday.
No.
The last 6 games, they were 32nd in the league.
I get it. We talked about it. We've talked about it. But I think they're better than they were earlier in the year.
Paul Feinbaum looks like he's going to cry talking about Alabama and Colorado losing. Oh
Paul.
Is he really mad that Colorado lost? No, he's not. He is not.
Lots of people are, though.
Tom Brady couldn't bring anything we would serve on Thanksgiving. That's probably true.
No.
Last one. Nathan says the Bama money train is coming to an end and their fake fans will be getting off and on their bandwagons. You may not be wrong. All right, one more break and then we'll come back and I will tell you of an absolute travesty and fallacy that was promulgated in the Times once again this weekend about the Rays, and I can prove it. Ooh. We're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. Their 40th anniversary Black Friday sale is coming up. The next 40 people to buy the $1,000 gift card will get the 40th anniversary gold sand dollar. Find out more at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Golden Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. Our good friend Pallottini over there. You had the great pleasure of eating at his restaurant, Tim. You know how fabulous it is. Number 3 on the open table list of top 10 Tampa Bay restaurants. So, and a very reasonable prices, not the crazy stuff you see all over the place these days, in a wonderful setting that makes you feel like there it is, right there's Pallottini cooking up. Everything is made to order. Just a beautiful place full of beautiful people and wonderful. Not a chain restaurant, just one of one. So check it out, Cafe Paradiso on South MacDill. Tell them JP sent you.
And Tim.
That's right. And Tim. That's right. That's right. So over the weekend, John Romano penned a column about the Rays deal, how it fell through, how the Rays stadium deal fell apart, and what the future holds. And I'm just going to say this. The whole thing to me is from the Rays perspective and really jives absolutely completely opposite of what you heard from the commissioners in the city commission and the county commission when it was the Rays that pull out of the deal. That's just fact. The Rays are the ones who pulled out of the deal. The county and the city still had votes yet to go, and the Rays could have worked with them to try and get them to turn their votes and make it happen. Since it was such a wonderful deal for everybody, why not just talk to them and convince them once again to make sure we get these bonds done? But no, that wasn't how they did it. They were the ones that wanted to pull out, and I can prove it. So this entire story, it talks about how the Rays were completely surprised that anything was going on at the county commission and there were any troubles with this deal whatsoever after the Trop. And don't forget, after the Trop was destroyed by the hurricane. Like nothing ever changed. We just suspected of just formality. These were just things that were just supposed to happen after the Trop got destroyed. Everything changed. So to actually consider that these were somehow just formalities is silly. It's silly on its face. And if anyone tries to tell you that, they're not paying attention to what was going on. 2 hurricanes came through here. A lot of priorities changed. Doesn't mean the deal had to change, but the Rays wanted the deal to change. They were the ones that wanted to pull out. So while we're, this story talks about, at the risk of being melodramatic, the second disruption turned out to be life-changing. Team president Brian Auld got a text, blah, 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 about they were completely blindsided by what the county was doing. Okay. They were completely blindsided. Really? They didn't think anything was going up. Well, that's not the story that the county commissioners told. And especially Commissioner Scott, who told us of this conversation that he had with Brian Auld, that clearly Brian Auld knew there were issues and that the Rays were already trying to pull out of the deal. This was before the county vote. So please don't tell me that they were blindsided, because that's a flat out lie. And here's from Commissioner Scott about a phone call that he had with Brian Auld as he sets the scene from the county commission meeting last week.
Our last commission meeting on the 29th October, we voted to delay till today for a month, or 3 weeks rather, just because we weren't even a month away after a hurricane, and we just wanted some clarity as to where the Rays were going to play.
Some clarity
for 3 years and what the future of Tropicana Field was going to be.
Let's have a conversation since you haven't talked to us.
The day prior to that meeting, I reached out to Brian Auld with the Rays and had a discussion with him. And I didn't bring it up at the time because I thought the substance to that might cause unproductive conversation.
Bombshell.
In the media, in the court of public opinion, and finger pointing and blaming, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, Mr. Sternberg does not share the same communication strategy that I do, as evidenced by this. So,
holding up the Tampa Bay Times piece.
By saying, we killed the deal by delaying the vote, and the action sent a clear message that they lost the county as a partner. So, to be clear, we did not vote to kill the deal, nor should a 3-week delay in a 30-plus year commitment be a deal killer to begin with. So, That's just a totally ridiculous
It's a lie.
statement. The delay was not because of lack of support for the raise or our partnership, but it was a necessary due diligence to ensure the best interests of our residents and our taxpayers were met, which is our duty to carefully evaluate all aspects to ensure fiscal responsibility and long-term benefits to our community. As a result of Mr. Sternberg's attacking this commission, which is exactly what he did, I do feel it is appropriate to share my details of my call with Mr. Auld.
Mm-hmm.
I called him to ask him just very simply, what are your plans? What are your intentions for the next 3 years? Well, I got a non-conclusive answer to that question. What I got was it's MLB, it's the players union, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I further pressed him and said, look, myself and likely a lot of other elected officials would find some confidence and some comfort if you could just make a public statement affirming the partnership with the county and the city, and saying that while there's still a lot of unknowns, you can't make any specific commitments of where you're going to play, that your first priority would be to play in Pinellas County, or at least stay in the region and play as close to Pinellas County as you possibly could. And that further, putting some heads in beds for help our hotel occupancy would help us pay for the stadium. The response I got back, I wasn't expecting. The response I got back was, I'm doing everything I can to hold this deal together because our revenue projections and our cost estimates have all gone in the wrong direction, and we are on the hook for all cost overruns. So this was the first indication I had that the Rays might be having second thoughts. They might be looking for a way out. So I called the only person I could talk to about this, which was Barry Burton. So I thought it was important for him, as the chief negotiator of the deal, to know that this deal may be going south. They may be sticking their toe in the water in other markets, or they may want to renegotiate this deal. And by sticking their toe in other markets.
All right. So, again, this was the day before the commission meeting. And this article about how the Rays Stadium fell apart is all about the Rays being completely blindsided that there was anything wrong. Yet there is Commissioner Scott saying he had a conversation with Brian Auld the day before, and it was so bad that he felt that the Rays were wanting to pull out. And his words, I'm trying to hold this deal together because our revenue projections and our costs are going in the wrong way. Now, go read that article and tell me if that's what Brian Auld is telling you. What a complete whitewash.
How has all of that changed since the original deal? Like, nothing has changed for them for their projections
to change. Not only that, right? It's like once again the Rays are trying to create these false narratives, which they've done very effectively through the times, through years and years and years. And it's anything about what happened. Nothing in that there's not one quote in there of they don't play well in the sandbox. They're bad owners. They all the things that were said by the county commission and the city commission, who excoriated the Rays. You can take one of 100 quotes and get from their perspective what happened from this deal, but none of it is in this story. It's it's really ridiculous. And Jeff Stutler said, I'm tired of certain radio and TV stations making it out to be the commissioner's fault and never mention Stu ever. The city requested a cease letter. Is that to restructure or to do a new deal? No, they pulled out. The Rays have said 3 times they're pulling out of the deal because of cost overruns. They said cost overruns were going to be their fault. And as soon as they get cost overruns, which, by the way, aren't even certain in a deal that's not going to be done for 4 years. Well, how do your cost overruns take into effect that interest rates may come down dramatically, cost of construction may come down dramatically, inflation may come down dramatically, but you've already figured you want out? What I mean, to put this on
because
the committee,
he never wanted in.
Yes, he wanted in. He wants in on the real estate deal and is still trying to get the real estate deal. To which the Times says, well, they've spent $50 million. They deserve something. Well, the county and city have spent a lot too. Don't they deserve something? They promised to do the cost overruns, and as soon as they're like, we want out. But there was a deal, and the county was supposed to do that. And they, well, there was also the county was supposed, and the Rays were supposed to hold up their end of the bargain, which they didn't want to. And they're the one, and now they're begging the Rays to send them a termination letter, which they won't send them because they know legally that would terminate their rights to the redevelopment and the $700 million windfall, in my opinion, that they're going to get if they can develop this real estate or just sell it to Hines, their partner. So come on now. Can we just be somewhat tell both sides of this story? That's not how the Rays Stadium went down, how the deal went south. There's a lot more on the Rays side that's not being told. Anyway, it's to me, this is all on the Rays 100% by that conversation. And I appreciate, and that's from a commissioner, by the way, who is still for the deal and is still hopeful that this deal can be put back together, which it's not going to be because the Rays don't want it. So let's just keep it right and let's keep it on the up. I'm not saying, listen, did the county delay, was that an issue? Obviously, because the makeup of the county commission changed. And by the way, the Rays campaigned against the two guys that won. Elections have consequences. And folks, and as I've said all along, because even when everybody was, they had the pom-poms out and we're going to build a stadium, I'm like, yeah, wait till you see the costs and then maybe you won't like this deal. And I've said it all along, the deal is so onerous to taxpayers that eventually it was going to fail. At some point, it was going to fail. And this is the point. And I also, I thought, in my opinion, because I'd gotten some very good intel from people that were trying to buy the Rays and knew the inside story, who told me, and I told you 2 months ago, that stadium will never be built. It'll never be built. He just wants the real estate deal. And that's from somebody 2 months ago. So who may still be actively trying to buy the Rays. So let's just be honest about what happened here. And I think there's, just to act like the Rays were ambushed and knew nothing was coming. How do you jive with Brian All telling the Times, oh, we had no idea. We're just sitting there up in New York looking for a sponsorship deal, having our coffee after, and then, oh my God, something's going wrong with the deal. You just told the county commission yesterday that you were doing everything you can to hold the deal together and that you want it out. Come on. And by the way, that, John Romano, you could have put in that quote right there from Commissioner Scott, but we didn't want to put that out there because it would ruin that false narrative. Sorry. Listen, John, there's nothing personal. I'm just talking about the reporting. Some great people at the Times. Love them. Do a great job covering teams. Fantastic. Great folks. But I have, it's my right as a opposing opinion to say, I'm not jiving with that. And there are a lot of fans in that Jeff Stutler to be one of them. Would John Romano do an interview with JP? Probably not. Alden Silverman are Stu's puppets, in my opinion. Listen, I know both of them to be fine gentlemen and wonderful people, but they have to do what their boss tells them to do. And I don't guarantee it, but in my opinion, they hate it. They hate doing what they have to do. But I get it. I understand the whole deal. Daniel Rivera says, Pinellas County Commission Chair to the Rays, give it to us in writing if the deal is truly dead. Give us a date, December 1st, to make their intentions clear, per Parsegian post on X just now. Yes. Aaron Parsegian at Channel 10 has done a great job of reporting this, by the way, both sides of the story. So if you want to see someone else who's reporting that, then there you go. But yeah, the Rays radio station, they're going to give you one particular view. The Rays newspaper, they're going to give you one particular view. If you want both sides, come here. Channel 10's doing a great job. I haven't seen much coverage on the other ones, to be quite honest with you. Those are the ones I've been paying attention to. And a lot of people, obviously fans, get it. The city council gets it. The county commission, they get it. They understand what they're dealing with now. And it's a shame that the deal went south. But I think in the end, if they can get something done in Tampa, and I know Ken Hagan is being very aggressive in this. They had a meeting last week. They're going to be ready when the time comes, which is going to be soon. And for him to be this aggressive, I think he knows something. The fact that the Ebor deal is still available and alive, the property's still available. They've done the design work on it. All this legwork has already been done. The fact that that's still there tells me that there's somebody very interested in doing that deal, and there could be new ownership. Now, Stu will be a very hard bargain in order to sell. I hope Major League Baseball interjects, and he's going to make, a $1.5 to $2 billion profit. Hopefully that's enough. And he doesn't need the windfall from the real estate that he would get in St. Pete. I hope Major League Baseball doesn't allow that to happen. This thing just needs to end in St. Pete and do the right thing in Tampa. And it has nothing to do with my love of Tampa or anybody else. It's demographics. That's where the stadium should be. It's simple as that. It's where the most money will be made for new prospective owners because it's a much better location. There's 3 times as many people within a 30-minute drive. We don't need to go through all those numbers. But that's the update now. We'll see if they actually send the termination letter. And if they don't send the termination letter, that tells you all you need to know. Again, that it's all about the real estate. And it's not about what's best for Tampa Bay and St. Pete. Because I don't give a rat's ass if they want to tell me, oh, we've spent $50 million doing this deal. Well, the county spent a lot and the city has spent a lot, and you're the one pulling out of the deal. So, sorry.
Somebody should be compensated.
Yeah, if you want to be compensated, take your $2 billion profit on the team, and there's your compensation. Not to mention all the profit that you've taken over the past 10 years or whatever it's been for the race on a yearly basis, which has been considerable. So, I don't know. I hope I know where it goes from here, but we shall be here to tell you both sides of the story. And that's that.
And that's that story.
All right. So that'll do it for this.
Let's move on to the next story.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Great job today. Our thanks to Scott Carter for joining us as well after that big Gators win. Gator fans, if you missed that or missed anything, go back to the Bucs monologue we had earlier today. Super fun, big win for the Bucs. Todd Bowles is talking at 12:30, so we'll be doing that. We'll give you that tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you on Tuesday.
Thank you.